Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the RSI METEOR. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review, and thank you Seraph Omega for joining me on today's review of the RSI METEOR. This is a re-review of the ship because the first time I reviewed it was when it first initially came out into the world of Star Citizen and on the Pledge Store. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'd say it's a pretty beautiful looking craft. It has a feel about it, you know, almost like a Star Trek-y feel. But let's take a look. This ship does have a price tag of $260 on the Pledge Store if you're to go ahead and buy it with real money, or if you buy it in-game at the city of Lorville on Hurston, it's $4,536,000 UEC. Definitely a higher price tag than a lot of fighters out there, and it even has a higher claim time, sitting at 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Now you also have an expedited claim time of 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which means unlike other heavies, mediums, lights, you're not getting back into that fight as quick as you would assume compared to a lot of those ones out there, which is honestly just too bad. Now, if you're looking at the total damage that the pilot is able to do, you do have a total of 5,469 burst damage per second due to the 4 size 3 FL-33 laser cannons, which have a round speed of 1,800 meters per second. And then if you go ahead and take a look at the other two guns on here, which is basically what this ship is built around, it's the 2 size 5 Leonid ballistic cannons, or the Leonids are just extremely powerful, and they have a round speed of 840 meters per second, which gives you a really big problem between your gun loadout. So stock, not so good. What you would want to do is swap out those FLs for Deadbolt 3s to give you much better aim, because then all your pips are pretty much one with each other, allowing you to go ahead and strike the enemy before you get out of there and then come back for another round. You also have 4 size 2 Dominator 2 missiles and 4 size 4 Raptor torpedoes, which are both EM, so electromagnetic, which is perfect. You don't have to swap any of those out. Those things will do just fine in locking and tacking their target and hopefully putting out a good amount of damage if the enemy you're attacking isn't paying too much attention. Now you also have a total bubble shield of 7,920, which is definitely okay. You can upgrade those, put some better military components in there like FRs, and elevate that a bit more. And then you have a total ship armor of 9,000 with a 22 deflection physical and an 18 deflection energy. Basically, this thing still is a glass cannon. It does not take damage well, so you have to be very careful about not getting into a turn rate fight, because if you do, you will potentially lose, more than likely, more often than not. Now you have a total health pool of 30,150, allowing you to, again, not take too much of a hit. It would seem like a lot of health, but honestly, the second that they start hitting you, they're already penetrating the armor and everything and getting to your components, which means you're going to get disabled pretty fast, whether you have 9,000 ship armor or not. It's not a good sight to see if you get stuck into a fight that you don't want to be in. Now you do have, this is where the potential of this ship really shines right now. You have a top speed of 229 SCM with a forward boost of 570 and a backwards boost of 235 with a top nav speed of 1,405. This is where this ship shines. The whole purpose of this ship is to go in slow, attack your target with a good barrage, and then hit the booster and get out of there as fast as you can. Get a good 2-kilometer separation on your target, and while doing so, turning towards it, stay decoupled of course, turn towards your target as you're 2 kilometers away and go back in for another strike. Be careful not to hold your boost button for too long, and with the power systems on this ship being a real struggle, you have to make sure you take away some of your power to your shields and put it on those engines, allowing you to gain your boost back and get right into that target, shoot and run again. This is the whole point of this craft. You go in, you fire, and you boost away, getting yourself some separation, and repeat the process. Every time you miss your target though, they might be getting shots on you, so you have to be very careful not to miss. You do have a top 46-38-155 pitch yaw roll with a boosted 55-46-186. Its maneuverability isn't really there, but it's not supposed to be maneuverable. It's supposed to be a direct strike craft that hits its target or gets behind a very big target and just lays in the damage with those big guns. Now you do have a total SCU of 28.95 hydrogen fuel and 1.15 SCU of quantum fuel. This thing has plenty of hydrogen fuel, but is very lackluster on its quantum fuel, which is kind of where it gets a big strike to its score there. It is a very dangerous ship depending on who you're attacking and the experience of that pilot, but then if you really play your cards right with how you maneuver this thing and you go in, you hit and you run, you can definitely take on anything out there. And I'm going to show you right now with some PvP footage where I do get attacked by 2 player arrows as well as a Perseus, which was only had 1 gunner. And of course, I came out of that alive. Now, with that in mind, this ship for PvE, now it's not all about PvP. PvE, this thing will dominate the field as well, but you have to be very careful not to have too many AI targets attacking you at once. Try to do the same exact scenario here. Go in, hit your target as much as you can before taking too many rounds, and then get out of there. Do not end up in a turn rate fight where you're fighting, the maneuverability of another ship, because you'll ultimately lose that fight. So let's go ahead and take a look at this ship in the first person. Before we move on to that PvP footage, I wouldn't want to give you the PvP footage without go ahead and take a look at what this ship has to offer just really quick, as it's pretty limited. It's got a pretty nice interior, but it is a small interior. So we'll rock right up to the elevator. It's a 1-entry ship. You'll go ahead and hit that button. The elevator will drop down nice and ready. You'll go ahead and hit this button and you'll be almost good to go, and you're in your ship. Now, once again, in Star Citizen currently, there is a lighting bug with almost every ship, so you're not potentially getting the lighting you should. So we're going to activate our flashlight. From the left side here, you do have the prison mattress from RSI, as well as a nice personal storage. Oh, I just sat down instead of hitting that storage. That was good. That was good. Let me go ahead and get right back up. Now, if you go ahead and look at that personal storage, you go ahead and open that up, and you do have 450,000 micro SCU, which is an okay amount, not the greatest. But then if you go over here and hit this open button here, take a look. A nice little shelf, right? Isn't it nice? Now, you make your way over here, and you do have a bathroom. Go ahead and hit that door, and you got a nice little toilet, and it doesn't come with a shower, though. So you're going to be able to clean yourself up, but it is a bidet toilet. So honestly, if you need to wash your hair, just do what you need to do, I guess. Now, if we take a look behind us here, you do have another door access point for 90% of your components. This is where the ship struggles, because when it gets attacked and the damage is hitting the ship, it's got a pretty flat surface to it, and this is where the focus is going to be had. You got shield generators, power generators, quantum system, you got fuses, you got pretty much everything over here, as well as some over here on this wall. They're not that far separated, but these are your coolers, so they're not typically as important, but all your components housed in one area makes this ship very easy to kind of knock out. Now, if you move over here, you can go ahead and open this up, and it's a nice kitchen area with a nice little area for another component. It looks like a battery access point or something, because if this was a refrigerator, it looks very industrial. We'll go ahead and close that up, but you go ahead and make your food right there. It looks like a little ice cream machine of the future. We'll go ahead and turn off my light really quick, and look at all this ceiling. Oh my gosh, if only we had good lighting, we'd be able to see this in its glory. Right now, if we take a look at the ceiling here, you do have a button. You go ahead and press that button. It brings up another storage area with more areas for your weapons, including your guns or your multi-tools and medical devices. You do have that here, as well as another storage box. You go ahead and open that up with another 450,000 micro SCU. Definitely not bad by any means, which is pretty cool though. I like this. I wish we had more of these storage options in other ships. I think that's a pretty neat feature that it came from the floor like that. Now, if you take a look in here, you do have even more areas for components like your life support system, your computer system, and of course your fire extinguisher, of course. And then over here, another area for components like a battery or a shield generator. And go ahead and close that on up. And here is your pilot seat. We'll go ahead and get into the pilot seat really quick and go straight off to that PvP footage. PvE in most ships isn't typically an issue. You just got to be aware of how many AI there are and how much damage you're taking. So of course, in the PvE realm, this ship is already just fantastic. You dish out a lot of damage, and you have a nice bed space to log out if you need to. And it's just great with that in mind. No problems there. PvE is definitely a good score, a good thumbs up. Now let's take a look at that PvP. You got 2 MFDs in front of you, and let's jump right into it. Target acquired. Target acquired. Collision alert. Front. Shields damaged. Collision alert. High. Target acquired. Enemy down. Check fire. 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 Shields damaged. Target acquired. Target acquired. Collision alert. Front. Shields damaged. Target acquired. Radar contact. Shields damage. Enemy down. This ship in my previous review was kind of lackluster because it didn't have armor. It did have the power, right? But it was even more fragile than it is now. With the armor system and everything, it's not as fragile, but it still is pretty fragile. So you have to be very careful about that. Last time I got a 69 out of 100. I feel very comfortable after having a lot of hands-on with this ship over the past week with a score of 82 out of 100 because it does output a lot of damage. It does have excellent speed, but it is very fragile and it does have a really weird fuel amount. You have a ton of hydrogen fuel, but hardly any quantum fuel. With a bed and everything on there is a little disappointing. And then its component layout on the ship is not so hot in my opinion because being all your components gone in just a few moments of getting hit is not a good thing, right? Having a little bit more of a layout on some ships that have the room for it is always preferred. So with that in mind, of course, an 82 out of 100 from me. Let me know what you think of the Meteor now in 4.7.2. Is it something that you enjoy? Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You guys are all truly amazing. And of course, my giveaway for the whole B brought to you by CIG ends tomorrow. Make sure you check out my channel and find the video. It's only like 4 videos away from here. Click on that video, enter in, and good luck to everybody out there. You guys are all truly phenomenal. And of course, I'll see you all in the next one. Let me tell you something real quick. When you see me looking around in game, that's not a trick, that's beam eye tracking doing the work. Its newest version is now in beta and completely removes the need for open track, giving you seamless integration between the software and the game. It's easy to set up, runs clean, and you can use it with a webcam, iPhone, or Android device. And it's only $30. One program, less overhead, smoother tracking. Grab beam eye tracking through the link below to support the developer directly and stop running multiple apps when you want to feel more immersed in what you're doing. If you're building a new PC, go through longshipindustries.com, a veteran-owned mom-and-pop business that takes pride in every single build. He built my personal rig, which you can actually see featured on the website. The care, warranty, and customer support are top tier. Trust Longship Industries for your next build.